Hey, Shalom, Akim. Call all Yabashim Yahushai, Rak Bashim, Wakar Kadash, Daban, the apostles, elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to you, sincere brothers, and any of you Aquath that might be living, trying to live righteously as well. Hey, real quick, I had a guy come to the camp. He asked about the kingdom. He was asking about what the purpose was to being an Israelite, because the Israelite thing is getting out. Brothers have been pushing it so long. The Israelite movement is starting to get out, which is it's not a movement, but it's a tradition that's being reinstated. I'll say it like that. I'll just let you see the raw clip.
Ecclesiastes 7 and 13.
So, what is the purpose of being an Israelite?
What is the purpose of being an Israelite? Okay, let's get that. Did you want me to get Romans 9?
And what? Well, I mean, because God is love, right?
No.
God's
Matter of
not
fact,
love?
give me Deuteronomy 32.
God is not love?
We're going to show you.
He is love, but he's balanced.
Yeah.
He has hate
The
on.
Most High is balanced. It say what? Love the good, hate the evil.
What is born again, bro?
Why do y'all believe that Esau was white? Why can't he be red?
Because
Why,
he was.
Hold
He was
on.
red, not white.
Hold on now. Hold on. Okay, if you got a set of twins and one come out with red hair and the other one come out with black hair, they still black people. How many?
Now I'm gonna stop there. You can go look at the full video. Subscribe to the camp if you want to. Shalom to you. Now he's asking questions. He's obviously kind of versed in what we believe or what the scriptures say, really, but he didn't really have any understanding. But just to get on, because later on in the conversation, he starts to ask about the kingdom. He starts to say, well, the kingdom of heaven is in me. I am the kingdom of heaven. Blase, blase. And I just want to jump through a few scriptures to elaborate on what exactly the kingdom is. It's Deuteronomy 32 and 8. Matter of fact, start at verse 7. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee. And that's what we're doing by being Israelites. We're remembering the days of old, the ancient days. Because when you look at our history, of course, in America, the big thing is slavery, Jim Crow, the bullshit. Not just for black people, but for all the tribes, Native Americans and Hispanics or Latino people included. But looking back, before we became heathens, way before that, way back in the ancient days of the earth that the Bible speaks about, which these so-called modern Jewish historians, they can never quite place us in history where we were or what we were doing, if you notice and if you looked at that. But this is a big part of what we're doing. Remembering the days of old, considering the years of many generations, asking thy fathers, which in this case it would be our spiritual fathers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that we give double honors unto, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. And that's the case. The elders told us who we were. They gave us the name of the Most High and His Son, gave us the understanding of the Scriptures. It's that simple, nothing complicated. Verse 8, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when He separated the sons of Adam, He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Yeah, like you said, when He separated the nations, He divided to us our inheritance, the children of Israel. It said He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel, right? For the Lord's portion is His people. Jacob is the lot of His inheritance. So we are We are the border of the Lord's inheritance. We're Zion. We're the monument. We're the nation that He exalted the most. He set us up to receive the ultimate inheritance, which is the kingdom of heaven. And He got a lot of our people who really believe that this is the kingdom for them. But I just want to make it clear, this is not, this current time with living in 2018, this is not the kingdom of heaven. This is not it at all. And when you look up kingdom, I'm still rolling. When you look up kingdom of heaven, which many of these is the Lord speaking, you got what? Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And the Lord talks about blessed are the poor in spirit. And He talks about who the kingdom of heaven is for, which if you go through them all, it's basically talking about humble men, being meek, right? Not every one that saith, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. And let's look at that word heaven, which should be Shemaiwan, or no, that's the Hebrew version. This is Aranos, heaven, Aranos. And the closest one to this one is number 3, or number 2, the region, basically the seat of order of things, eternal. Esau even knows there's order of things eternal and consummately perfect, where the Most High dwells and other heavenly beings. So where the heavenly beings dwell is going to be here on earth. Getting into the Strongs. Yeah. So this is it's a little bit of it's a lot of information, but heaven is rulership. I'll say it like that. So I had to do another one and pull up exact, but basically in the scriptures you got 3 heavens. You got heaven meaning rulership, heaven meaning the aerial heavens or the sky, and then you got heaven being where heavenly bodies dwell, where the Most High dwells, just like it says up here. That's why, somebody gets in a good condition, and then heaven, of course, the rulership, heaven and the state of being of heaven and the state of being of hell, those are conditions played out on the earth. That's why they say the black man's hell is the white man's heaven. Yeah, this is heaven for Esau and the Edomites, because they're in rulership. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. So this can't be your heaven if somebody is ruling over you. Because if this is our heaven, where we're being shot down, we're being destroyed, we're being kept in subjection, we don't have any resources, we don't have any wealth. If this is heaven, then we're fucked, because we don't have anything to show for it. And deep down our place, people know that. You got that song, Tupac, wonder if heaven's got a ghetto or something like that, based off of the mentality that this is their heaven. Maybe heaven has a ghetto for us to be in. Why the fuck would you want to be in it? Like, man, that's Jake though, man. Jake is lost. Jake is lost. You don't want to be in no ghetto. I'm talking about I'm in the ghetto of heaven. Because if it's truly heaven for everybody, it's not gonna have a ghetto. And if you notice, whenever you notice Esau depicting heaven, depicting the angels, depicting the Most High, all the entities in it are always white or red, what so-called white. Just peep game. All the images are always Edomites. You'll never see a bunch of black or Indian or any of these other races of people as angels for Esau's depiction. And that's not done by accident. And then when they come up to the camp, when we have the picture with Cesare Borgia with the horns, they'll challenge that picture, but they'll never go into a church and challenge the images that are on that church. And that's wicked. And that's somebody trying to conceal something. Why? Because they want to keep that rulership. That's why, these nations, they'll have trade wars against each other. They'll fight against each other, kind of, these Esau's nations at least, even now and in history. But when it comes to bringing us down, the Israelites, keeping us in subjection, they'll all work together. Because as the scriptures say, all the nations came together and they conspired against us. They came together to keep us down. And every nation that did that, which is pretty much all the major nations now, they're going to receive their recompense for that. It's a righteous thing to recompense tribulation upon them that trouble you. But moving through, Matthew 22:1, and Yahushua answered and spake unto them again by parables, and said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready, come unto the marriage. But they made light of it, and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants, the remnant, that's who we are, the hopeful elect, the hopeful remnant, took his servants, and entreated them spitefully and slew them. Salakia. We're the servants. We're the servants, Salakia. Apologize. And entreated them spitefully and slew them. And when the king heard thereof, as a whole, we are the remnant of Israel, but the men of the elect were the servants. And so the servants are bidding people to the marriage, which the marriage is the bridegroom is, the scriptures tell you the bridegroom is Yahushua, and the wives, which is figurative. It's figurative. You have to look at it figuratively. There's nothing homosexual about it. It's a pure thing. To the pure, all things are pure. To the impure, this is impure. But we're the brides, and we're supposed to be wise. We're supposed to be those wise brides who had their lamps groomed, and not the foolish ones. But like it says, and the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city. Then he said to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. There many are called, but few are chosen. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw that there was a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to his servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him in outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So that for many are called, but few are chosen. And that's beautiful. That's basically a summarization of what we're doing out in the highways and byways. The Lord sent us as servants to go out and to bid as many to the marriage, but then you have some out there who are not worthy. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to gather together as many as we can find. And then in that, they're going to be, like it says, both bad and good. And then once the Lord gets there and you have men, well, the king gets there, you have men who have not the proper garments on, they're cast off into darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. They weren't worthy. Many are called, a few are chosen. Because your garments, let me get that too. Salakia. The garments represent knowledge. They represent the knowledge. And on the garments, Isaiah 52:1, awake, awake. And I got this precept from the Apostle Gabar. Put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come unto thee the uncircumcised and the clean. Shake thyself from the dust. Arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. Right, for thus saith the Lord, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money. So like it says, awake, awake, put on thy strength. Come back to this knowledge of who you are. Scriptures also say, an ox, ox knoweth his master. I'm butchering it, Salaki, but an ox knoweth his owner, an ass knoweth his master's crib, but Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. So this knowledge is the garments. Going back to the kingdom, this is 2 Ezra 7. Yeah, this is a beautiful revelation that was given unto Ezra by this angel. Verse 1, 71, verse 1. And when I have made end of speaking these things, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night before. And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my God. My power, really, because it's an angel. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in wide places, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? There is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field, and is full of good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? That's right. And I said, It is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, Even so also is Israel's portion. There you go. So that city that's built full of good things, that's the kingdom of heaven. That entrance, that narrow path is the path we're on now. And then it's so small, but one man could go at once. There's an order set up. You have one man, then you have the next man, then you have the third man, the fourth man, and so on and so on. That's the way we're getting to the kingdom. Many analogies on how we're getting there, but the actual kingdom, which it talks about in Revelations, we're gonna get to that. And then of course here's another representation, because each of these stories gives a description, because they can't just, the Lord's not just going to tell you verbatim exactly what's about to happen exactly. He has to give you a representation on what it is you're about to do. Because there's so much going on, there's so much that's taking place. You're not just going to be told straight up. It is given unto you the king, the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. I'll put it like that. That's why it was put in a parable. Matthew 18:23. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven like unto a certain king, once again, which would take account of his servants. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him which owed him 10,000 talents. But forasmuch as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife and children, and all that he had, in payment to be made. The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. Then the Lord of that servant was moved with compassion, and loosed him, and forgave him the debt. But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence, and he laid hands on him, and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me that thou owest. No, pay me what you owe. Give me my money. And his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, Have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. And he would not, but went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt, which they do in this society. If you can't pay up certain fines or certain debts, they throw you in jail. You can't pay up, on child support, you get thrown into jail. So now you can't even make money, and you're in jail. So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry, and came and told unto their Lord all that was done. Then his Lord, after that he had called him, said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all that debt, because thou desirest me. Shouldest not thou also have compassion on thy fellow servant, even as I had pity on thee? And his Lord was wroth, and delivered him to the tormentors, till he should pay all that was due unto him. So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if ye from your hearts forgive not every one of his brothers their trespasses. Yeah, because the scriptures talk about a righteous man falleth 7 times, and how many times should you forgive him? 7 times 7 times 7, which a complete number of times. You keep forgiving him. You forgive a righteous man who trespasses against you, who goes off, makes a mistake. That's a large part, because this world, they teach you to be selfish. They teach you, look, man, we don't have time for fuck ups and errors, which, everybody makes errors and mistakes. But now, if you're diligent, you're not going to keep making that same mistake over and over again. You're not going to keep making that same essential mistake. You're gonna, you're gonna pray and fast over it if it's really a stumbling block for you. And you're gonna get past it. And that's another aspect of the kingdom of heaven, dealing with the brotherhood, dealing with forgiveness, because we're all stuck in these imperfect bodies. We all go off, and it's important to keep your patience, because this world will try you on a daily. This world will never stop testing us until we get out of here. So moving along, I don't want to make this too long, but hey, scripture's got to come out. Understand it has to come out. Hopefully, this is edifying to the church. I'm gonna continue on. Matthew 6:10. Thy kingdom come. This is one that we all kind of knew. If you were in the church, this is one that they often use, Matthew 6:8. Be not ye therefore like unto them, for the Father knoweth what things that ye need of before ye ask him. Ask this manner, therefore pray ye, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And then in the truth, we actually have this prayer in the Hebrew. And you can find this online. I believe they had this on GreatMillstone.info. It's the Adawan Palau, the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa Shabashamayam, Kodash Hayashamka, Yahweh Malakwaka, Taba'a Ratazaka Haya, and then you can read the rest. Our Father which art in heaven, holy be thy name. Or excuse me, hallowed be thy name. I had to make sure, yeah, hallowed and holy are the same thing. So this prayer, you can look that up in the Hebrew, download that, put that on the wall, put that on the mirror in the bathroom, and face the east, and you say, get on your knees and you say that prayer every day. And that's important. Prayer is important. And of course, the heavens open up during the Sabbath and the high holy days. Jeremiah 35:15. I have sent also unto you all my servants the prophets, rising up early and sending them, saying, returning ye now every man from his evil ways, and amend your doings, and go not after other gods to serve them, and ye shall dwell in the land which I have given you to your fathers, but ye have not inclined your ear nor hearkened unto me. Yeah, the Lord sent his prophets to seal the elect, to push the word, to push the truth out, so he can put us back in our own land, like it says, which is Jerusalem, but they have not done it. Our people still want to go after the ways of this world. They want to go after the gods of this earth. They're easily persuaded and seduced into this world, and to eventually you look on TV and you see them being destroyed. That's the way of this world. Eventually, if you're an Israelite, someone's going to take you out. And that's part of being cursed. Cursed shall I be when I go in, cursed shall I be when they go out. And I will skip over to this is one of the accounts of the kingdom, because it tells you throughout the scriptures, Isaiah, Jeremiah, once we get to the kingdom, then we're going to be partying. That's when the real party begins. Then we're going to be making joyous in marriage. You're going to have your wife, your family, all of that stuff. Then you're going to be, because the scriptures tell you what? Those that have wives be as though thou have none. Why would they tell you that if this is heaven? When we get to heaven, then we're gonna, we're gonna be making merry. We're gonna be making music. We're gonna be having a good time. It's gonna be a party. But for now, we're trying to seal the elect. We have work to do. We're working. We're servants. You even have to serve the devil. You have to serve Esau. You have to go in the job. You have to do the job he asked you to do. Go home. Kind of have a. You might not have to smile, but you have to have a certain amount of respect for what he tells you, so on and so forth. Revelation 21, and I'm ended off on this. Revelation 21:1, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. That's talking about a new rulership, but it's the same planet. The planet is never going to be destroyed. It tells you that in Ecclesiastes. And there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of the heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men. He will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. And God shall be himself be with them and be their power. Be their God. Yeah, we're going to get our connection back. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, right? Nor crying, neither shall be any pain, for the former things are passed away. And he sat upon the throne, said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. Right? And then and he said unto them, matter of fact, let me read it. It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. And I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers, sorcerers, idolaters, liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is here in America when the missiles hit this place, which is the second death. Because we're already born into sin, we're already born into death, and then you're gonna go ahead and die again. And the Lord is eventually gonna bring these people back through his elect in the kingdom. But and as far as going on, which you wanna be going to the kingdom, you wanna fly in, you wanna go on the first go around, and that's what the elect are hoping to do. That's what the men of the Lord are hoping to do. We want to be those men who go in and establish the kingdom. And like I said, this is a gift from the Most High, the kingdom of heaven. And I hope that was edifying. Call all Yabashim Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash. The kingdom is coming, and it's gonna tell you, of course, it's gonna go on to tell you what the kingdom is gonna look like, the different measurements of the kingdom. And the heathens, they're gonna build this. They're gonna build this for us. It also tells you we're gonna rule them with a rod of iron. They're gonna be his handmaids. We're gonna all the beautiful women from the other nations. They're gonna send their most beautiful women as an offering unto us. But again, Shalom. I hope this is edifying. The kingdom of heaven is coming soon. That's why we bid men to the marriage out on the highways and byways. Shalom.